But Councillor Lagat, also yesterday I'm sure you had seen the continuity in the standoff between the National Police Service Commission and the National Police Service yesterday when they appeared before the National Assembly Security Committee. And it seems there's also the stalling of the recruitment, and the funds meant for the process were routed to the National Police Service rather than the legally mandated National Police Service Commission. How much of this also points to the much-needed reforms and much-needed security personnel for proper protection of the Kenyan people and their property?
That's a very good question, and it's a very pregnant question because we are also in a season where we are supposed to carry out the recruitment of police services, I mean the police force, and we must look at this, the respective agencies that are supposed to carry out this mandate. First, permit me to tell you that the National Police Service, which is protected by the National Police Service Act, is an independent body. And the Inspector General of Police, for example, is appointed by the President. Just to give a small background of what this agency is all about, is appointed by the President. And the two deputy Inspector Generals of Police, that is one who is responsible for the National Police, and the other one who is responsible for Kenya Police and the Administrative Police, both are also appointed by the President. If you look at the tussle that is there in terms of funds and even where the payroll is supposed to be allocated, it is my humble opinion that the Inspector General of Police is the one who has the command, the operative command of the structure. Mm-hmm. It is actually the Inspector General of Police who is supposed to give command in terms of where this payroll and in terms of where the hierarchy, in terms the issue of promotions at the police service and so forth and so on. We also have a situation, Ayub, where the Inspector General of Police has come under a lot of criticism. But we must deflect ourselves from looking at the person. We have to look at the institution. We have to look at the office. And that is why I have insisted, even in several forums other than this one, that the office of the Inspector General is not the person itself. Yeah. It's actually the office, which must be given the respect, rather accorded the respect that it deserves. Because this is a constitutional office. This is an office which is mandated with, issues of security and very, very sensitive for that matter. And it is my humble opinion, it is my suggestion that it should actually be funded. It should be divorced from the politics of the day and so forth and so on.
Yeah. And Paul, yesterday the International Justice Mission detailed a 2-year report wherein it said nearly half of Kenyans have suffered at the hands of police, with the study concluding that 42.9% of Kenyans experienced misconduct by police officers between 2022 and 24. A stark reminder of the brutality woven into the country's law enforcement despite the much-needed institutional and police reforms. Ideally, the flip side is also apparently very dangerous, is it, other than those killing Kenyans on the roads? The idea, especially when we came up with the constitution with the National Police Commission, was to perfect the idea that security forces should be under civilian command. So I don't agree that we should hold up the Inspector General of Police into some revered position. They are supposed to be the people's police. Mm-hmm. They should police the people the way the people want to be policed. Mm-hmm. Now, the problem is after we put the command of the police under civilian control, we have never gone down to the operational methods of the police to find out how they respond to civility, to human rights. For instance, how do you get arrested?
And what are the standard operating procedures when a person is arrested? And so that the arrest by one police officer should be the same as another police officer, and the way you are arrested must be protecting some rights that you have.
Mr. Mwangi is a senior advisor to the broad-based government, particularly the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
He should be at the front of that phalanx.
Well,
the Prime Minister and the President in this meeting.
We have proposed that we need
the breakdown of law and order in this country.
We have proposed that we need
national TV.
we have proposed that we need to discuss some of these things.
Yes.
And so far that has not been taken up. But I think we need to sit and agree that this is the way the police will police us, and that we have never done. So if you go to America, they say the moment you're arrested, the first thing they must do is that
under rights.
Yeah, your rights are read to you. You have a phone call. You have this. So the standard operating procedures of the police there are such that their rights that are protected. If a policeman slaps you in Kenya, it's you go nowhere.
Of course.
The standard operating procedure should be that the moment you go to the police station when you are arrested and you say, I've been slapped, and that an inquiry must be opened immediately. So every policeman who handles you knows that the moment I slap you, the moment you get to the station, an inquiry will be opened about that slap. If I discharge a firearm, the standard operating procedure should be that every police firearm that is discharged must go for ballistics immediately. It cannot go back to the armory. You see how cases are being lost today is that people are being charged with murder, their guns are being brought, and then they say, oh, it never went for ballistics.
Yes.
The whole thing is that you can't convict any policeman today for killing in a protest because you can't even get to know who shot. But if the policemen go out there, and the standard operating procedures are that when the guns come back, a gun that has discharged cannot go back to the armory. It must immediately go for ballistics and can only be received when it comes up with a ballistic report. Then every policeman knows that if I discharge this firearm, may this bullet never be found in a body. Because if it is found in a body, I'm in for murder.
Correct.
We have never done that. So I think we're just...
Rek Masai case.
Yes.
You remember?
Yeah, Rek Masai, the case is being lost.
Because the judge said there was an error of numbers, serial numbers on the removal.
So nobody knows who shot that gun.
Correct.
And it goes down to the fact that we need to sit down and go through the way the police operate, and then we tell them that this is the way you're going to be operating.
Okay.
These are the procedures you're going to do.
There's something.
Also, to introduce Martin Ogingo, who joins us this morning, a former lawmaker. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Lovely
having you here on the broadcast. Yes, your hand was up. I'll come to you, Council.
No, I think that also we also have to, there's bashing the police has also become a sport in this country.
Absolutely.
And I think that we have to be quite responsible because the police are low paid. The police don't have housing. The police are not well trained. The police get the rack on when the proverbial comes down the hill or the mountain. It's the police who get it. I know Mr. Kanja is a very decent fellow, the police commissioner. And I think that when we were growing up, when a policeman passed there, we would stand at attention. There was law and order in this country, probably because there was a dictatorship of Mr. Kenyatta and Mr. Moi, that everything seemed that the crimes were at a low level. All these thugs who tried to do something would be rounded up. The usual suspects would be rounded out. But what I put to you is that this is not a police issue. Neither is it a legal or law and order issue. It is in the political culture of our country today that you could just die because of some administrative smudge on someone who says they go and kill that person and you die and it's covered up. Kenya has witnessed a lot of assassinations in this country. And I think that when the economy, Ayub, I put it to you, is in the doldrums, when the people are in a social fatigue, when, making ends meet is very difficult, Have you woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning, wake up here, Kenyan citizens are walking towards industrial area, young women and women are walking to do their jobs in the houses here. It's because the current economy that we have and the kind of relations we have in this society are really shredded. Okay. And when people become desperate, they start doing things that are desperate. Okay. And that is where we should look at it. We look at the sociological aspect of crime instead of just looking at it from the law and order point of view.
Okay. And Martin, I'm sure you must have, Senator, I'll come to you. Much to talk about here in this case. And largely then, how can the outstanding issues between the Commission and the National Police Service be addressed here because of the pending recruitment, as well as the much needed reforms, yet these differences are very stark and playing out before Parliament?
Thank you very much, Ayub, for having me. And my view is that we have been transiting from the old order to the new order with the advent of the new constitution. Some people would say it's been transition, but that's the reality. We are still managing our police force with the old mentality. And I believe human beings are human beings. Yeah. They are not robots. You don't switch them on and off. So in due course, the law is there and very clear. The role of the National Police Service is clear, and the role of the IG and his team is also clear. We only need to follow the law. Then we are good. Yeah. Yeah.
And Senator, ideally, when we talk about police high-handedness, the state high-handedness, the brutality, as Council Mwangi had pointed out, and the cover-up attempts, this standoff points to also much needed institutional restructuring, is it, and the obeying of the law, which isn't happening at the moment?
I agree that the Inspector General of Police should be in charge of operational command of the police as by the Constitution. The National Police Service Commission is supposed to appoint and recruit. So what happened yesterday, National Assembly Committee on National Security, chaired by Narok West, I think, Mheshimiwa Tongoyo, is very unfortunate because it's an open. The people who should recruit disciplinary and other measures are National Police Service Commission. The Constitution says that. So I think what is happening is about resources, because the issue of payroll, I think the Inspector General of Police believes that if he hands over the payroll, or he loses the power to control the police, which is not true, because the Constitution, as Mwangi has said, is that they envisage a way that where civilian will be part and process. Because even the Constitution on the fundamental human rights, the police are supposed to be trained about it. And we have seen in several cases. Personally, I have been a victim of police harassment and brutality. In the last session, you remember the likes of Uru and Matiang'i were chasing me all over. And Azimio guys were very excited then, because there was a famous issue of Kamata Kamata Friday, and I remember I was once arrested naked after nominations in April 2022. And you know, thank God I have not reached a certain age. If I was a certain age of 80 plus, I would have pronounced a curse on those gentlemen, the police. So the point I'm trying to make is that we as a parliament, we have passed the NPSC Act. It is well structured, the recruitment process. So what we need is the Inspector General of Police and National Police Service Commission to agree, because at the end of the day, as my brother has said, who are we serving? We are serving the ordinary Wanjiku. So if we get these 10,000 police recruited and being trained to assist us in security matters in the country, is very critical. So what I'm proposing, and we have done in Parliament, I can confirm to the nation from where I sit, because I'm a ranking member in Parliament, we have passed the necessary legislation that Article 246, 245 has said. So there is no way, and I agree. My brother here said people are bashing the police as a sport in this country. I think it is a soft sport. It's just like politicians. If we are not bashing the police, we are bashing politicians. And I think we need to appreciate what the police are doing. They are being lowly paid. They don't have access to housing. When you go to Kilimani police station and other police stations across the country, you can see the last time that the paint was done was in 19 Ketichini. The toilets that are holding cells is terrible. The houses that they are sharing, the police are teens, the ones that were done by colonials. You live, two families are sharing a room. So another one is married, another one is unmarried. So that is why you see police are shooting themselves because of stress, distress, because even the housing, the food, you know, and it is very unfortunate. So we must do an overhaul. Institutional reforms, as you have said, so that in future it attracts more Kenyans to work and serve under police, so that they look as a service where we have changed from the force to now a service.
Thank you. Paul, just hang on. Langat, I'll come to you. We need to go on a break and come back. We have time to deliberate more on that, as well as the campaign against the war on graft, which was also part of the pledge made by the head of state during the campaigns, and also the promise to form the state capture, which largely borders on that and which never materialized, the president giving some security concerns during his first interview in January 2023. All that will be here on the broadcast with the gentlemen after the break here on Daybreak. Stay tuned.